Welcome to Vinyl Verdict. I'm Bell.
I'm Jamie.
And I'm Adam.
And this week it's Jamie's pick.
Yeah, we're listening to the Cars.
The Cars.
The Cars. Hit the Canadian.
The Cars.
The Cars are a band that formed in 1976 in Boston. The same year that Boston's album came out. This album came out in 1978, though, so 2 years after the band formed. The Cars are made up of Rick Ocasek on vocals and rhythm guitar, Elliot Easton on lead guitars and backing vocals. Actually, though, I'm going to stop mentioning backing vocals. The whole band does backing vocals multiple times during the album. So everyone's on vocals at some point. Benjamin Orr is on bass, and he sings basically half of the album. Rick Ocasek sings the other half of the album. But most of the songs were written by Rick Ocasek. Then there's David Robinson on drums and a little bit of percussion and a little bit of Syn drums. Syn drums are the first electronic drum kit.
Oh, neat.
Then you get Greg Hawkes. He's on keyboards. He plays saxophone on one song. And then he plays the other percussions. So some of this weird... There's one song at the tail end of the album that has some like weird like slide flute and like...
Yeah, it sucks.
Little bangs and stuff. Yeah.
It sucks really bad.
Yeah, it sucks.
Anyway, this album got the band named Best New Artist by Rolling Stone in 1978. And the album spent 139 weeks on the Billboard 200. It spawned 4 or 5 big singles, set off their career.
It's interesting because that's like they were massive at the time, but I feel like they don't have the same kind of legacy as similar bands.
Sure, like you still hear them on the radio.
Very occasionally, I find.
You hear them on classic rock radio. You hear the song like "Just What I Needed" on like commercials.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that song before.
Yeah,
and I'd never thought I heard the Cars.
There's a couple songs that have been used in movies, like Moving in Stereo is used in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's a great movie. Directed by the guy who did Home Alone, which is kind of a weird one, I guess. But also, the guy who did Home Alone also did Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is a very different movie. So, anyway.
I was like, who is that? He's a famous guy.
His name escapes me, and I wish I knew. Oh, boy.
John Hughes.
Thank you. Train Planes and All.
Hughes.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, no cursing. No cursing. I like this album. I think it's another powerful debut album from a band that I enjoy. There are other subsequent albums that are pretty good too. So I own Heartbeat City, which is one of their more popular, like later to mid 80s albums. I also own Candy-O, which is like a really good album as well. All their other albums had hits, but they didn't have the same amount of hits as this first album. And then the band broke up in 1988, and some of the members have since passed. Like Rick Ocasek is gone, Benjamin Orr is gone. Both of them died from, I believe, cancer. Benjamin Orr went first. Elliot Easton is a really interesting guitarist. He's left-handed. He plays a right-handed guitar, strung right-handed, played upside down.
Okay.
Which is unusual.
Oh, so he like that's like Jimi Hendrix, right?
No, Hendrix played a right-handed guitar, strung left-handed.
Which way's a right-handed guitar? Is that your picking hand? Isn't that's a normal guitar?
Yeah, so
your picking hand is your right hand.
Yeah, so the guitar is strung as it would be if you were playing it right-handed, but he's strumming it the opposite way.
Okay,
which is unusual. I think that's kind of cool. As a left-handed person, it is hard to find instruments.
Yeah, most of the time you just conform.
Yeah, you just end up being right-handed.
Yeah.
I can't do that, so I have never learned how to play guitar.
I feel like don't hold yourself back. You can do it.
It's just one of those things where like I don't understand like the hand placements.
Yeah, well, I am right-handed, and I also didn't understand the hand placements.
Yeah, so it's one of those things I can't make the shapes, so I can't play the music. So
yeah.
What did you kids think?
Not a huge fan.
Oh no!
I didn't like the singing style. I think he sounds goofy. let the good times roll. It's just like he sounds all over the place. The first half of the album is stronger than, I mean, the first 3 songs are good,
Mm-hmm.
and then it falls off, and then it kind of comes back, and then it falls off again. I think this one suffered from listening to it more.
Oh, so you're saying
I think
your
this album sucks when you listen to it.
Yeah.
your first listen was more positive, and the more you listened to it, you heard the flaws.
Yeah, like put it on in the car and was like, not bad. This song sucks, but like not bad. And then I listened again. I'm like, this one's okay. Yeah, this song sucks. I guess it's okay. To being like, this is fine. I hate this song. Like the "In Touch with Your World" song is so bad, man. It sucks. It's so bad, and then it just ruins my mood for the rest of it. But I could. It's at a weird. It released at a weird time, so it feels kind of 80s and feels kind of 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But then it doesn't really hit for either for me, where it's like the vocals feel like they should be in something more digital than the band is making. I don't know. It's very odd.
It is a cool intersection
Yeah.
of like, you know, it's the end of kind of glam rock, like David Bowie glam rock.
Mhm.
It is the time where punk is now turning into new wave as it splits off from like 70s punk into like hardcore speed metal, thrash metal.
Yeah.
And then it gets mainstreamed by new wave. And this album, I think, is one of the most clear examples, because I was always confused as somebody who looked up as like learning about new wave and people being like, yeah, man, like
It's just an offshoot
those
of
Talking
punk.
Heads albums
Yeah.
are like Remain in Light. You do not hear that punk influence anymore as much
No.
as you hear like a lot of the world instrumentation that came in. And this like album is like very clearly that bridge between those sounds that helped create new wave, and I thought that's a really cool thing to listen to historically on this one.
So unlike a punk album, this has a lot more influence on synth and keyboards and stuff like that. And the guitars are chunky, but they're not loud. Not all the time. There's some blues influence on some of the soloing. And then the I don't know, it's sort of also like a power pop album in the sense that none of the lyrics are particularly deep, or the guitars are heavy, but they're not a metal album, and they're certainly not a punk album. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting blend of a whole bunch of different stuff. Does it work? I don't know. Worked well enough that they sold like 8 million copies of it, and people seem to really enjoy it. I think the weird thing that they do is they do the Queen thing on a number of songs where the whole band harmonizes.
The massive harmonies.
Yeah, I do like those.
Yeah. And then like Queen, they have a number of songs that segue like immediately into each other. That's on the second half of the album. So they have a We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions situation where the songs have to be played at the same on the radio.
Yeah, we got a We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions type situation.
Yeah. But yeah, some of those songs don't get played on the radio anymore, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, the Cars are kind of an interesting band. They soared to popularity, released a couple more albums. I think it's like 5 albums after this one, and they called it quits. Then they tried to revive it, and then everybody died. So they'll never come back. Yeah, I enjoyed this album. I think it's an interesting debut. It is certainly as successful as Boston's debut album in the terms of sales. But Boston is more of a straight ahead classic rock album, or whatever you would want to call that, a rock album. This one has a little bit more nuance to it, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe we'll find some of that nuance as we give it
one
last listen.
One last listen. Yeah.
Let the good times roll. Oh, won't you let the good times roll? And talking in your sleep. I guess you're just what I needed. Just what I needed. I needed someone to feed. You're all I got tonight. You're all I
the good times roll, boys.
Yeah.
Woo. For me, this song, I don't know. I immediately got like a kind of Queens of the Stone Age vibe at the start of it.
Oh,
They
sure.
do like that kind of guitar
That like,
pacing.
yeah, that chug.
Yeah,
Chug, chug.
it has like a weird, like plodding pace to it.
Yeah.
Disjointed.
Like the opening, you only get the left ear is the only one listening to anything fun. The
I was
right ear-
about to say I'm listening to just the right ear, and it's just the guitar and like faintly singing.
Yeah, it has a lot of use of stereo panning, which was, at that time was somewhat out of, I don't know what the word is. Like it was out of vogue.
Yeah,
People
because
weren't
everyone got really in after the Beatles started doing it. Early '70s, people got really interested in it, and then punk was like, "Let's simplify this."
Yeah. So this one has a lot of like layered sound and stereo panning. The whole album does. This song is a response to the good times other bands were singing about. That's all BS.
We're the only ones having a good time.
No, it was just like these guys are like messing around. They're not actually having good times. They're just singing about them. So this one is kind of like tongue in cheek or like very like he's singing about good times that the bands aren't actually having, I guess. There's some beautiful harmonies with the whole band. So they do the kind of Queen thing where like where the whole band sings together.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bitty baby solo around 140.
Yeah,
The solos on this album are quick. They're very to the point.
Mhm.
they're good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good. There's lots of really fun solos on this album.
Yeah. So this is like a kind of a quick introduction to what you're gonna get from the rest of the album. So the band sound, you get a good mix of guitar, a little bit of synth, and then it's like a very early new wavy type sound, except for a couple of the songs that are kind of weird. But the layered harmonies are possible because the band recorded this album on a 40-track machine. So instead of being recorded on like a 16 or 20-track machine, there's 40 different tracks and they're all being mixed together, which is very unusual. This album was recorded somewhere in England. I forget where it was, but there's multiple vocal takes layered on top of each other, and it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, a lot of double tracked vocals.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, it's catchy. I think the goofy style from the singing works on this one. The song is a little repetitive, but it's catchy enough. It didn't really bother me. It would have been nice to have a little bit more intense instrumentation at any point. It's really just a consistent beat the entire time. A cool drum fill or solo or longer solo would have gone far, but it is what it is.
Yeah, this was this is the third single released from the album. There were 3 singles. The first one was Just What I Needed, followed by My Best Friend's Girl, and then this one. So basically the first 3 songs on the album. Interesting thing about the first 3 songs on the album, they're all the same length.
yeah.
So
I
they're-
noticed that too. I was like,
They're all 3 minutes and 45 or 43 seconds long. I don't know if that was intentional or just the way it happened. And then the second side of the album, most of the songs are around the same length as well. I don't know if that was intentional. The whole album's like 35 minutes long. So it's not a terribly long album either. Then we get into My Best Friend's Girl. I like the little like finger pick beginning.
yeah, the like rockabilly guitar on this track is so good. The like it starts with the like Jesse Girls,
Yeah, sure, yeah.
and then it goes into the like in the chorus of like doodle-dee, doodle-dee. It's so good.
Yeah, it's catchy. The song is kind of weird. It's like your friend stole your girlfriend, but you're still friends with him.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
I would be pretty mad if someone did that, but he seems to be somewhat okay with it, I guess. He wants her back, but I don't know. The lyrics are weird.
Yeah.
The vocal singing is weird.
The whole
This is
song.
the last time we'll bring it up, but the vocals are weird.
Yeah.
This song feels very of the time, though, but also kind of late. It's, again, that weird mix of, like, new wave and not. It feels like an early 70s or late 60s song, but it came out in 78. I don't know. I guess it's, again, just not for me. The instrumentation is simple, basic driving drum beat, bouncy piano beat, the little rockabilly guitar, the really quiet electric rhythm guitar. It's got a really short solo at the 2-minute mark, but it's fun. I don't know. It's very weird. Very weird.
It's fun. It's got that Queen vibe.
Yeah, it's got hand claps
Um,
and stuff. And
it's just a kind of it's a fun little like. It feels almost like a novelty track. Like it sounds like something somebody would make today to try and capture the sound.
sure, I can see that.
To me?
Yeah, I understand. Someone trying to copy the sound and of the time. Yeah.
I like the little like the before the chorus comes in. It's like there's like that little like 8-bit dive bomb. It's like it's a great little subtle like addition that I really really enjoy. I will say, rhythmically this album can be so rigid. Like the rhythm section is just so like straight ahead, like rock beat with so little vibrancy. So little life to it. It feels so robotic a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And maybe that's due to the playing with synths.
Yeah, there's some synth drums too, so it could be just like playing a standard beat.
Yeah, it's just it. To me, sometimes I think that lessens the kind of rock sounds that they're playing with is how rigid the drumming is.
I'll say that the drums are very, I won't say one note, but they're very plodding. They're there.
They showed up and did the job description.
Yeah, they were playing a beat. Yeah. But I like that at the end of the song where the whole band joins in for the little harmony part. It's cute. I like that. The song went to like number 35. This is one of their breakout songs. So this one and then Just What I Needed were played on 2 radio stations in Boston. And then they became highly requested songs. And then it kind of like, because the internet it wasn't a thing, other radio stations picked it up and it stopped being a regional hit and started being a more like countrywide hit, I guess. So
the guitar solo.
You're talking about Just What I Need.
The guitar solo made this song go to number 1.
Yeah.
It's the best part of the song.
Just What I Needed has 271 million plays on Spotify. It is one of their most popular songs.
Just What I Needed starts off and I always go, is this Stacy's mom?
Sort of. Yes, Stacey Bob's a great song though. We can't go wrong with that one. The Cars are a band that really uses stereo separation very well. But at this point in time, I don't know if stereo separation was very popular, but they certainly tried it. It must have been awful if you had an AM radio in your car. I don't know how any of these songs would have played. Because like AM is only monorail, right? So
they probably just downmix it.
They must have had a downmix,
or they made it like, I don't know how they do that back in the day. Like, they probably made radio mixes.
Sure, I'm sure.
I'm guessing.
Yeah,
this synth line in the song is so good. That little synth lead is incredible.
The riff is good. The intro is really good. The Cars are really good at writing an intro and a riff.
Yeah.
And then the song has been in like a billion commercials. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm sure Swiffer has used this in a commercial.
Just what you needed.
Yeah.
It's like, it works for literally any product.
It's credit cards, it's cars, Yeah,
this is easily the best song on the album. It takes a surprising amount of time to get to the chorus. Like, it takes about a minute and a half, which is like half the runtime before the chorus actually plays.
Yeah.
Then the guitar solo is great though. It's worth the wait. He also seems to sing way more normally. And it doesn't end in a fade out.
So Just What I Needed is sung by Benjamin Orr, not Rick Ocasek. So some of the songs that you like more they have a very similar sound.
That's so funny. I'm like, I like the vocals. Different guy.
Yeah, I didn't notice that it was a different guy at all.
So
they have very similar voices.
Yeah.
I thought he just wasn't singing like he wasn't trying to rip off David Byrne.
Yeah. So Rick Ocasek sings songs 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Benjamin Orr sings 3, 7, 8, and 9. So the ones you might like a little differently are sung by a different dude. So
yeah.
I'm getting into I'm in touch with your world.
Oh no, I have more things to say.
Oh,
Slow
tell me
down,
more, tell me more.
Speed Racer.
No.
I think this is where it's funny. This just what I needed. I hear the connection between them and Weezer,
Sure.
right? So, Rick, how do you say his last name?
Okay, so
Ocasek. He produced the Blue album,
yes.
and I hear how that. And apparently, the reason why Weezer got Rick Ocasek to produce it was because of this song.
Yeah, I can see that. There's a number of songs on the Blue album that sound similar to a Cars song.
Like I hear it in the guitar tone and some of the songwriting tendencies. It's cool. It's just a neat connection that I had no idea existed until I looked into this album a little bit. This was also originally the song was part of an outro for a car seat headrest track called "Not What I Needed."
Oh,
and it had to be recalled because they had a clearance issue with the sample, but they had already pressed it.
yeah.
So there's like pressings out there that have the original version of the song that people want more.
Oh,
Yeah, I actually like the outro that they ended up replacing it with, but it's just an interesting little
a little musical tidbit.
fun.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to "I'm in Touch with Your World."
It's got a bunch of weird sound effects in the background that Greg Hawkes says it was a lot of fun to play live, but sounds weird on this album.
Absolute waste of time. Stilted and weird, and the random kids' instruments are weird, and it gives like I'm quirky energy. Hate it. I hate it.
I don't hate it. I don't find it objectionable, but it is a definite skip every time I listen to it.
It sounds like a Talking Heads song, but bad.
Yeah,
Like I just feel
which
like
is something which is interesting because some of the Talking Head songs are okay, just okay too, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. The Talking Heads are not all hits.
No,
It just doesn't. I don't mind the weirdness and the wackiness. It just doesn't really coalesce in anything, and it spends too much time with the weirdness, and then it hits the chorus and you're like, oh, this is okay, because it has that like kind of like sci-fi sense that like just it's wonky, but it comes in and it's cool and it's different.
contemporary reviews liked this one and some other ones more, but modern day reviews have, I know, Belle, you're making a face. Bella's making a face. He's still making a face. It's one of those things where retrospective reviews are much more negative on it. Now, I agree with them. I don't think this is their best work. I don't think it's objectionable, but it's just I'm not interested in it.
If this was 1 minute of the song total,
No,
I would be fine.
it is not.
But it's the most of the song, and then you get the chorus. You're like,
3.5
whoa,
minutes.
it's different. And then the chorus is like literally 3 bars long or something.
Yeah.
And then it's
It's got, I mean, there's a couple cool riffs around a minute 20, and then there's the little solo around a minute 35.
he just starts shredding out of nowhere, which is pretty fun.
And then the song's over. And then you get into "Don't Just Stop," which I think is fun. I like that song.
Yes, I like the super flangered guitars on it.
Yeah, it's got the little riff at the beginning has a nice clean tone, like for example, like "Ticket to Ride" or something like that, or not. I'm not saying it sounds like "Ticket to Ride." I'm saying the tone sounds like "Ticket to Ride." Yeah, something like that. That was the first song that came to mind that had that very like clean tone.
I don't really like this one either. It's kind of repetitive and it's fast without feeling like it needs to be so fast. And it does the fade out thing where there's a cool guitar solo that I want to hear, but I can't because it sounds like I'm walking out of the building.
Yeah.
Which I would. So
This is the most new wavy song so far. It's very so new wave is sort of like punk, right? So it's faster than standard rock. So this is your like first like new wavy type song on the album, or like the most new wavy type song, I guess.
I like the little do 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 do.
don't you stop, don't you stop, don't you stop.
I think it's a fun song. I actually quite like this one.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
And I think the energy that it brings just with the tempo is great.
Goes all Queen again with the harmonies.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got this cute little solo around 125. Really like that solo. And then that's the end of side
Don't
A.
You Stop is good.
Don't you stop.
Don't You Stop is good.
It's kind of like it's simple enough you can kind of sing along with it, but that's the end of side A. And then you get into side B. You got "You're All I've Got Tonight," which has a really cool synth tone to it. I really like that synth in this one.
Yeah, they bounced back with this one. Like this one, I did quite enjoy. It got my foot tapping.
Yeah, it's got a really heavy riff around 45 seconds that really matches well with the heavy ass synth. I think it's fun. And then you get a little brief guitar solo. It starts around around the 2 minute mark, something like that.
Mm. Yeah, the build up around the 3 minute mark is really pretty good as well. It lasts a while, but it worked. I think it was worth it.
Yeah, I think the phaser on the drums was really cool. I think that this might be my favorite song on the second half. I hear the Queen influence, but this is where I really started to feel like, man, I wish that they weren't playing so rigidly. I wish that they'd loosen up, because my favorite parts on the album are when they get a little bit looser, like on the bridges and the guitar solos, as opposed to being like so, like just so dirt. It's so robotic, and there's no looseness to it that makes it really it either makes it boring or it makes it feel lifeless.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. Yeah.
And it sucks, because I think there's, like, as a frontman, I think Rick's really interesting. And I think he's bringing a lot of intrigue in his vocal delivery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting, because I think maybe it is because of that desire to be blending the rigidity of like synths and drum machines with the simplicity of punk and pop music.
Yeah. Rick Ocasek's kind of a weird dude. I'll just give him a little background on him. So when this album came out, he refused to tell people how old he was. And it turned out he was like 9 or 10 years older than people thought he was. And when he died, the obituary came out and said he was like 70 or like 68 or something like that. It turned out he was like 76, and like nobody knew how old he was. He never told anybody, but like it's kind of he's an older dude trying to play a new style of music, because he would have been in his late 30s when this album came out, maybe early 40s or something.
I mean, I kind of get if you're still trying to deal with record labels who are looking for like a young up and comer who's cool, and you go like, oh yeah, I'm 30 something. They're gonna be like,
You're not. Yeah. Also, Rick Ocasek is not a conventionally handsome fellow. I would describe him as like
conventionally ugly.
He's like gangly looking. He's got kind of a long face. I wouldn't call him handsome.
Yeah, he's a weird looking dude. Looks like Howard Stern.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a Howard Stern kind of guy. You're not wrong. We were talking about You're All I Got Tonight, but I had another thought on that one. Did I have another thought on that one? Oh, after the second verse on the song, Elliot Easton plays like a little bit of like a call and response with his guitar. So like the guitar track that he's playing will follow the music, like the vocal line.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
I like that.
Yeah. And then we get into Bye Bye Love. There's no fade out. There's no
Bye Bye Love or the last song.
There's no fade out between those two tracks.
That's good.
So
I never would have expected the Cars to play a song that goes dun 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 dun. I never would have seen that coming.
No.
After 5 of the 6 songs that we've listened to so far have done that.
Yeah. I like Bye Bye Love. It gets radio play still. But usually, like, because there's no fade out between You're All I've Got Tonight and Bye Bye Love, sometimes the songs are paired together. Usually not. But I thought it was interesting that, like, You're All I Got Tonight just ends and then it immediately starts into Bye Bye Love. You don't see that very often. Probably for good reason. It's kind of jarring.
I don't think so.
Oh, really? You thought they played nice together? I mean, it's kind of like a heavy sound coming after. Well, I guess You're All I Got Tonight is kind of a heavier song anyway. But the guitars during the chorus are really sweet. I really enjoyed the guitars in the chorus.
I think the textures on this, the synth sounds and the guitar tones on this track are awesome.
Yeah, the synth solo is also very good just after 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah. It's really good. This does sound like a Blondie song, and that makes me want to listen to Blondie.
Yeah, this album came out the same year as Eat to the Beat. Eat to the Beat, which is
Yeah.
Blondie's first album.
So like, I think that's almost a problem because I feel like if I want this track, I'm just like, oh, I could just listen to Blondie do this song better.
Yeah, I don't know if they were influenced because like Blondie, I don't even think was in the same part of the country,
I have
and
no-
I don't think
I-
they had a song out yet.
I know very little about Blondie. I just
Yeah.
know some of their albums because
Fair. Yeah.
like their hits. I've listened to like a greatest hits album and like one of their 80s albums and one of their 90s stuff.
Yeah, Blondie's great. I own a couple of Blondie albums. We might cover them one day. But yeah, this song has like a little basic solo towards the end that's kind of cute. Kind of like it.
I like in this solo when he goes beep 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 beep. It makes me laugh every time. It's so funny to me. I don't know what it is, but it just hits me.
Mhm. Then we get into Moving in Stereo, which literally has stereo panning in it.
It's annoying. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's done in a purposeful or meaningful way. It's just like, I can move in stereo.
The song is like weirdly, the song is covered by a number of different artists, including one by the metal band Byzantine, which is like it's like a really good cover. The song is notable in the sense that it was the second to last song Nirvana ever played live before Kurt Cobain died. It was played at their last show. I don't know. A lot of grunge artists and metal artists seem to like it. It's kind of heavier. And this is the song that's featured prominently in the movie Fast Times in Ridgemont High. It's in a scene where one of the characters is having like a dream sequence or like a fantasy sequence. It's quite good.
I like the opening. When the opening of this track played, I was really stoked.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is a cool little atmospheric change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
And then the song sounded like the rest of the album.
Yeah,
and I
sort
was
of.
like, oh. And the snare sound is really weird on this track. It's completely different from...
It's like, almost like static. It's like, psh, psh.
And it's so loud in the mix. It's so aggressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
It is. It sounds like you're... like you're punching somebody.
I wonder if it's electronic.
It might be.
The little electronic horns are also very funny. Like, it's just weird. It's a weird track.
Yeah.
I do like the do do do. Like the synth is fun.
Yeah.
But I don't want to listen to this song.
Yeah.
I don't like how the vocals are in the right and then they're left, and then it just doesn't work.
It's literally describing the stereo panning like effect.
And then like radio affects his voice too, so like it's very odd.
Yeah.
It's like too spaced out from everything.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
It's just like, I think atmospherically it works. Musically or song structure wise, I find it a little tedious,
Yeah.
which is a shame.
The next song, All Mixed Up, is also bridged with this one. Sort of similar to how You're All I Got Tonight and Bye Bye Lover bridged together. This is the only song on the album. Sorry, All Mixed Up is the only song on the album with a saxophone solo on it, and it's played in the outro.
Wasn't there a saxophone solo on you? Wasn't there a saxophone song on You're All I've Got Tonight?
No, that was synth.
Oh, it just sounded like a
Yeah,
sax.
it sounds like yeah.
Oh,
This
okay.
is So Greg Hawkes plays saxophone on it in the outro, and then the song kind of just ends. I don't really have a ton of thoughts on All Mixed
Yeah.
Up. It's fine.
I was like, oh, cool, another atmospheric song. And I was like excited to see where this grows to. Like, because after a minute, you're like, okay, where is this going to go? It's still kind of building. And then, you're right as it's about to get interesting, they just fade out super quick at the end. And you're like, oh, okay. I guess we're done now.
Yeah, and then the album just kind of ends on that one. But the album itself not long. Let's take a look at or did anyone have any more thoughts? No.
This is a song that I kind of wish was done by a different band.
Interesting.
There's a
Tell me
couple
more.
where I was like, this might be cool for someone else. Production wise, quality wise, I was like, maybe this would be a good ELO song. Like, I don't know.
Interesting.
There's some where I was like, it's like almost there, but I'm not enjoying it. And maybe if someone else did it, I would enjoy it more.
Yeah. I don't have any thoughts on it. Like, if I've made it this far listening to the album, like it's by accident, I guess.
I like to leave it to me. I like it, and it's like, okay, they're gonna build into this big chorus, and we're gonna have like another minute of song, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be really fun. And then it's like, oh, bye.
See you later.
Yeah, it's It's interesting. It doesn't feel like the end of the album.
No,
It just ends.
It's a bad. I don't know if
It's very much a
bad thing.
pop-oriented album where they're like, put all the bangers on the front half so people feel like they got their money's worth.
Yeah, you get what you pay for in the first 3 songs.
Yeah, and the first 2 songs I think are great.
Yeah, and they were all the singles.
Yep.
So someone else thought they were great too. The cover is kind of iconic.
I love the cover.
It is a great cover.
Yeah, it's a model whose name escapes me, driving a car, but she's got like this manic smile on her face.
She looks like Dee from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
I see it. I see it.
Subsequent Cars albums feature an actual car, and then like a pinup girl drawn by the artist Vargas on it.
They're in a car
Yeah, she's in a car. Yeah.
with a clear steering wheel,
So
which I think we
this
should
is
bring back.
So hard, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the only album cover that wasn't designed by the band themselves. This was designed by the label.
They did a good job.
The label nailed it.
Yeah, they really nailed it. The band is kind of iffy on it. I think after years of people like wearing T-shirts with this lady's like huge smile on it, I think they were just tired of it.
Also, like, who is that person? And like,
She was a model,
but like nobody like if it was like my debut album and there's just a random like people are gonna think that's people who've never heard the Cars before are gonna think that is the person that person's supposed to be on the
singer,
album.
Yeah.
Like, and then they go, oh, so I could see how they might be like kind of annoyed, being like, hey, no, why didn't make it something that looked at least a little bit more less like it was a singer songwriter album? Or,
certainly, yeah. This being a self-titled album, it just has the name of the band on the front. On the back, you get them kind of like hanging out in a building that's made out of concrete or a parking garage or something like
It's
that.
such a weird.
It's
Did the label choose the back of this album, or
yes.
they did?
Yeah, they chose. So the label
band.
chose everything about this.
Okay, well the label did not nail it on the back.
No, the label did them dirty on this one.
Yeah.
And it just has like the track listing. It does not have anything about who plays on the album. It just says who produced it. And it has like the photography credits and stuff like that and the art direction, which is all from the label. On the inside, you get kind of a nice sleeve. Let's take a peeky poo. Whoop,
Taking a what now?
take a peeky poo.
I thought you said a pee pee poo.
Oh,
I
then you
wish.
get some like little shots of the band, like a bumper surround that has like the Cars logo on it.
That's cool.
Some little car pictures and then like little things of the band. Then you get some like really moody '80s photos of the
Yeah.
band, like their pinups or like really good looking
It
dudes.
looks like picture that'd be in a teen magazine back in those days. They just would
Basically,
take
that
out
guy's
like
got
Kiss.
leopard pants on.
Whoa.
I'm not a fan.
I
of
like the
that.
suspenders.
Then you get the lyrics for each song, and because most of the songs are pretty simple,
Yeah, it does not look like a lot of words.
no. The pressing is really good, actually. This is the 2016 remaster. It's on the Elektra label. It's very nice. It's thick vinyl. Sounds great. But yeah, nothing spectacular. It's a reissue of an album that's probably been pressed a billion times. It's just on black vinyl. Nothing fancy. I paid $27 at Toys R Us for it.
Toys R Us is so funny.
Yeah, I walked in to pick up my copy of Weezer that I placed an order for, and I was like, oh, why don't I look and see what they got? So I bought Van Morrison's Moondance album. It's fantastic. And this album, and I paid a totally reasonable price for an album, or what I at least consider like a totally reasonable price these days. You could probably find a used copy for like $10, maybe less. I just happened to be at a record store. Anyway, what's your vinyl vert, kids?
Why don't you go ahead?
It's got some great hits. It's got great moments, but the rigid rhythms and left field swings and subsequent misses knock this album down. It's a cool album, but I am not particularly moved. I want to like it more. I think there's a lot of aspects that are great, and they don't always coalesce, which is a bit of a bummer. So on my list It is in the 17th place. Under Joe Cocker's Mad Dogs and Englishmen and above Our Lady Pieces, Spiritual Machines.
That's crazy. That's crazy before they start Spiritual Machines. Yeah. You know, like I said, I think this one suffered from me listening to it multiple times. If I wrote notes on the first time I listened, or like if you asked me the first time I listened, I'd be like, that was pretty good. Like I was impressed. I was surprised that I liked it. And then every time I listened, I liked it less. And then I was doing notes on it and I liked it even less. I think that, like I said, if these songs were sung by or made by other people, I think they would have been better songs. But they were made by the Cars. And they were sung by the guy who sings. Well, some of them were sung by the guy who sings Goofy. They should have let the other guy sing. I'm putting this in the 14th spot under Hometowns by Rural Alberta Advantage and above Core by Stone Temple Pilots. It is not for me. It's not offensively bad.
Yeah.
But it is not for me.
Cool.
Jamie?
All right. I put this one in the number 10 spot, just below Stone Temple Pilots Core and just above Peach Pits Being So Normal. It's fine. It's an album that I own. And then my next pick will be something that I think we'll all like.
But next week is actually Adam's pick.
It's Adam's pick, yeah.
Adam, what'd you pick?
Oh, we're doing Brat by Charlie XCX. It's time. It's finally time for Brat Summer.
It's giving, even though it's winter.
Yes, well, we're bringing it back early.
Brat
It's coming
Girl
out
Fall.
December? Yeah, this is like...
Yeah.
This is
November?
sweater wearing fall,
What?
not Brat Girl Summer.
Jamie, it's not
Jamie's
Brat
trying.
Girl Summer.
He didn't know the
it's
meme.
Brat Summer.
I don't know what that means. Anyway.
I've never listened to Charlie XCX, other than I Love It.
Yes, that's the Iconopop song on which she features.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear you guys' opinions. This is probably one of the most celebrated pop albums of the past decade. It was huge.
No.
Like it was so massive that a presidential candidate tried to co-opt it.
Sarah's gonna be really mad when I don't like it.
I was gonna say I don't have high hopes that I will like this.
Yeah.
I have listened to a couple tracks, and I can see the value. We'll save it.
It's a really interesting album because it's not, for how popular it got, it is not so straight ahead pop music. Like it's not like, I'd say Sabrina Carpenter is like, I get why that's really popular. It's a lot
Sabrina
smoother,
Carpenter. That's a name I
easier.
should recognize.
She's an industry plant.
Is she?
No, what do you mean?
No.
She has like 7 albums.
What's the other one? Chapel Roan?
Chapel Roan?
I don't know anything.
Oh, Chapel Roan's also great. It's been
I just know that Hot to Go is a meme on TikTok right now.
Yes.
Uh,
All of her songs are a meme on TikTok. That's basically. It's really interesting to see her streaming like chart, because it is literally like a meteoric rise, which doesn't make sense. A meteoric rise, meteoric is going
They
down.
fall
Meteors
down, yeah.
always go down. So
Always?
when they're
can't believe you're shoehorning meteors.
Well, it's a meteoroid is in space.
Yeah,
A meteor is in the atmosphere, and a meteorite is in the ground.
that's right. Yeah.
So if it's meteoric, then it should be only falling because it's in the atmosphere.
So when when they call it a comet, then because that one just keeps going.
Well, hey, you should like, comment, and subscribe.
Boom,
to
got him.
Final
Yo,
That was a good segue.
that was
Thank
great.
you. You know what else is a good segue? What our aftercare question?
Tell me more.
What's your favorite The band?
Oh, I have an album by The.
The are actually pretty good.
Yeah, The are pretty good actually.
I would have to look. I don't know my favorite The band. Does the have to be at the start?
Yes.
The
It's
Cure?
not like Foster the People.
The Cure? I like
Okay,
The
The Cure. I'm trying
yeah.
The Beatles.
Yeah, the Beatles are pretty good. The Rolling Stones.
What's the Led Zeppelin? No.
Oh wow.
The
The Jimi Hendrix Experience.
That counts, yeah.
The Books.
The books.
The books are really
the
good.
hell are the books?
The books are really cool. They do like Plunder Phonics, like
Oh,
found
okay.
sound stuff. They have a really cool album. I really enjoyed their album, The Lemon of Pink.
The Talking Heads.
It's just Talking Heads.
Some of them say the on them though.
No, it's just talking heads.
Yeah, I think the band's just Talking Heads. It's also Beastie Boys, so they don't count.
no.
the Weezer.
The Weezer.
I feel like Beatles is too obvious.
Yeah, the Beatles are fine.
Yeah, I need to scroll
Man,
through my collection.
The Who.
Yeah, that's a pretty good band.
Yeah.
The Smiths.
Oh, I like this.
I've never really
I
listened
can go
to the
either way on the
Smiths.
Smiths. Yeah.
I haven't really listened to them either. I like the Dodos. They're a smaller, kind of like folk rock band. The This is, I believe, a local band. They're more kind of punky. They're very good. I mean, the Lumineers were hot for a while.
Yeah.
What about the OCs?
I don't know them.
Don't know what that is.
They're really good. I like the OCs.
I like The Neighborhood. The Neighborhood's good.
Okay.
The Weeknd.
The Weeknd. I do like The Weeknd.
Sure. No,
I think we're just naming the bands now.
is a great name for a band. They're pretty good too. They lived up to their dumbass.
It's a good name for a band other than when we go to search them up.
Oh yeah, it makes googling them almost impossible. Also, it probably really annoyed people that ran record stores.
Do you have the?
Do you have any the? I remember like we've already covered brand new. I remember going into a record store and be like, "Do you have any brand new albums?" And the guy looked at me like I had two heads because it's like, "Yeah, we got all kinds of new releases." I was like, "No. I mean like albums by the band brand new."
And then he fought you.
Yeah, and then you wanted to, and then anyway, that was a thing. I don't know. There's a lot of bands that start with but that are fine. But yeah, the like the Rolling Stones, I own dozens of albums from,
and a couple of them are good. Zing!
Wow.
Well, hey, tune in next week. Maybe Brat will be good.
Oh, it will be at least good for me.
I have low hopes.
Bye.
Your hopes are meteoric.
Oh.